All right, what's up, guys? Zach Kennedy here with a big time guest. This is a guy that I've had the pleasure of actually coaching at TST, but beyond that, he's a father, he's a baller, guy that really has been through just about everything imaginable. So I'd like to welcome to the podcast, Dave Balliat.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Thank you,
guys.
welcome.
Boss.
Thank you.
So I think one of the things that we all I want to start off with, and Lamar and I like to start off with, is like young player. You know, how do you kind of come into the scene of soccer? Like, tell us about kind of your upbringing and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. So I was blessed to grow up in Argentina. So when I was 5 years old, my parents moved to Argentina to become missionaries with the evangelical church. And so that kind of catapulted like 9 years of my childhood all the way up until my teen years to grow up in the passionate culture for soccer that is Argentina and Buenos Aires. So I grew up playing in the streets, literally running around, playing with the neighbors, in the schoolyards and kind of that whole vibe. And I learned a lot in the streets, right? Like, you learn how to dribble, how to be crafty with it, how to take some hits, how to give some hits, kind of all of it, right? And you learn the passion, right? Like, you have to win,
I was going to say, like, one of the things that you look when you see, like, street soccer, like true street soccer, like, I don't think I've ever seen true street soccer. I'm very much in a bubble, but you look online and you're like, these guys getting, it looks like Sunday League, but on freaking, dust.
On gravel, bro.
Gravel, bro. And you're like, hey, is that tackle, like, and then just no call, and you're like, oh, okay, straight up.
Cool.
But isn't that funny? Like, now you're kind of in a situation that's kind of happening again with like indoor hits.
Hey, I'm leading the league in fouls.
There you go.
from leading the streets in fouls to leading the league in fouls. I'll have to clarify if I still am, but I was for several weeks. But yeah, man, no, full circle. I think there's a lot you learn, right? Like, already in that passionate environment in South America, Argentina in particular, and then in the streets, one of the phrases a lot of times with the schoolyard kids or whatever is, we play for the Coke. And so, like, the losers got to buy the Coke. Well, a lot of times in those environments, those 50 cents or whatever that are compounded, your 50 cents, that's your bus fare.
Yeah.
That now you're having to buy me a Coke with. And now you're having to walk home or explain to mom what happened to your bus fare. Right?
So that's everything, really. You're playing for everything.
You're playing for everything. It's like the whole play for keeps here, right? Like for the shoes, for the Jordans type deal. I think just a compound of mental, emotional lessons kind of make up who I am today and how competitive I am and why I always give everything that I have, whether both my knees are working or only one of them, like, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna give everything I got, because whether it's for the Coke or for the dub, like, it's real.
Yeah, man, that's sweet. And it sounds like that mentality is like win or go home or win at all costs. So it sounds like you've had that from youth and now transitioning up. So, like, me and Zach, we talk with players all the time, and we were fortunate to grow up here in the U.S. and in really good environments. You know what I mean? Like, I never had to play on like dirt or play in the streets per se as to you did. So can you kind of like tell me, like, what's that mentality? Like, what's the difference? How do you really develop within that winning mentality and kind of take that into, like, do you take it into life? Do you just leave it on the pitch and then off the field you're a completely different person? Or how does it kind of carry over into life beyond just footy?
I think you have to have something you're playing for. And so a lot of times imagination plays a big part. I think imagination could play a negative part, right? Because we can get caught in our thoughts and it can derail certain success principles and steps to success. But I think a lot of times, if you haven't seen a green, level, beautiful pitch, then it's only in your imagination. You're working to where it's reality. But if it's a reality every Sunday from the time you're 3, 4, 5 years old, then what's there to imagine?
Exactly.
Right? What is the quote unquote dream? And the other thing, then you bring the money aspect into it, not just like the playing on a green pitch, you bring the money into it. There's so many pros that can't afford nice cars, right? Because we're not just talking about First Division Premier League, First Division, in Europe, we're talking maybe a second or third division in Argentina, where they're still struggling to pay rent, but they're playing in front of 50,000 people, on the weekends. But it's just the money's not there, you know what I mean? Or the corruption or whatever it is. And so there's always something more in those environments. Here, a lot of things that I see, you guys say that y'all talk to youth players and stuff. A 16-year-old here in the US that plays club ball whether ECNL or not. Let's say they're not on scholarship to play club ball, right? So they're paying. Chances are at 16, they're also getting their permit, and they're either driving mom and dad's car around or they're getting their own car.
100%. Yeah. Yep.
So you have to go from that to rooming with 4 randos to play 3rd, 4th, 5th division Germany on dirt because the field is trash. You already played in the stadium in Allen, which seats what, 80,000, right? Maybe it's not full, but you're playing in a stadium on nice green grass or turf, whatever. So then you get your pro status, but again, it is nothing like here. And so you convince yourself, is this really it? I don't want it. Or I thought it would be something greater, but it's not what you see on TV. You have to go through what you don't see to get to what you do see.
Exactly.
I was going to say that pro status sometimes comes at like a charge almost. Like when you say, you go from SMU, right? Absolutely pristine surface, facilities, everything.
Locker rooms,
but then you have those guys who have chosen to go and play like USL 2. And you're like, okay, this is a step down, but still like, we don't have the recovery. We don't have the beautiful locker rooms. Like this is stuff we don't have. We don't have the ability to just go up to a coach and say, hey, I need new boots. And they're there the next day.
Yeah.
Right. So some of those things when you now are going overseas, like we have a player on our 19s who you've met before, but he's decided he's going to go over and join an academy in Germany. And he's like, I'm super excited about it, but I have no idea what it's going to be like. Okay. Well, he's been touring D3s, D2s, and whatnot. So he sees that environment, and he's relating, okay, 3rd division academy is going to look the same. Well,
no.
It's really not, right? That want to become a pro, I think, does take, charge on, whatever you're doing, because so many more opportunities. Like, you can't say that a kid that's 16 years old who's looking between, okay, let's go to college, or right, let's go to Norway to play. Yeah. All right, 3rd division Norway. That Division 1 college program, everything for you, education, has it all there. The 3rd division Norway is going to take everything you can give and then spit you back out like no one's business. Like, it's a big difference.
I think one of the biggest struggles is timeline. Like, if you know you can get something now, or even if you could give the kid a specific timeline, like, look, right now you're going to get an education. Right now you're going to play in nice facilities. Right now you're going to have access to all the recovery. Right now you're going to be treated like a pro. You don't have pro status, you're going to be treated like a pro. Now, in 4 years, go to Norway. From Norway, you'll go to Germany. From Germany, you'll go to France. Then you'll go back to Germany. Then you'll end up in the Prim. So it's going to be 5 years of absolute struggle, but you know for a fact you're going to get it. Which one do you choose? 10 out of 10.
That one, 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, but what if you don't know?
Exactly.
And actually, chances are you probably won't ever get it.
100%.
So now, which one do you choose?
Exactly. Now you base the college and you
right.
have options.
And so, 100%. But then where did the journey go? Right? Like, look at all success principles, all motivational pages on IG. It's all about the journey is beautiful. The journey is beautiful. The journey is beautiful. Yeah, the journey is beautiful until you have to start somewhere where you're like, hold up, but I could right now have this. And so I think that the pursuit and the struggle and the not knowing and the quote unquote, the beauty is found in the journey, that's been lost because we know for a fact what we can get now.
And I think what's about to make it even worse, and I don't know if you saw this, but in the news they're saying college soccer is about to turn into a professional league.
They're trying to make it 9 months.
They're trying to make it in 9 months.
Well, I think for the U.S. Soccer Federation, I think that, and for the MLS and for everything like that, I think that's better.
You think it's better?
I think it'll be much better for development. I think in the long run, I think that's better. Now, for individual journey seekers, I think it adds an element of predictability, which adds a level of comfort, which takes away from development.
I think what's going to kill it, and the only thing, and the reason I say this is you have MLS, right? Now you have MLS Next Pro. Yep. Then you have the MLS Next Academy. Yep. Now you're going to have a college system. Where does college rank in these leagues, right? Because you're going to get an 18-year-old.
Let's match them up and find out.
Yeah, because right now
let's have some fun with it, right?
Yeah
let's play Duke versus New Mexico. No, bro, let's go. North Texas versus
SMU.
Yeah, versus SMU. Let's find out.
Every year SMU has played them. SMU has won.
There you
go. So in that
Mexico
situation,
United played Grand Canyon the other day, and New Mexico beat them 3-0. And they said it was an awful game.
And then you have a situation like that. So now you're going back and forth. And now with USL Championship, USL 1, USL 2, those guys are
and
pros.
Pro Red coming too.
Yeah.
Red coming, I think 2027.
There's so many, and this is actually what I'm doing my dissertation on for my senior year at college is the convolution of professional soccer in the US at this point, it's out of control. Like, and
It's
that's
capitalism, right? It's capitalism.
100%.
Like, if there's a dime to be made on my own, I'm gonna make it on my own rather than sharing with you.
100%.
Like, that's 100%
But
what it is.
I think that's almost killing our system, because now you have these players that, if they're low level MLS, rather go to a mid tier, a mid division in another country, because they're going to get more out of it, because of the organization, because of what you can learn, rather than sitting in an MLS Next 2 Pro or an MLS Next Pro program and saying, okay, once I'm 18, if I'm not good enough, if I'm not brought up to the first team, that's kind of it for me.
But there's a lot to look into that, right? Like, even how these homegrown contracts are and how they're signing the 16-year-olds now and stuff. Like, they know they have a monopoly, and now they don't only have a monopoly on the system, they want a monopoly of players. So they're killing the chances of these kids going, right? Because they give you the opportunity at 16, go ahead and stay, right? We'll offer you this, and then you can't go. Again, you're having to make that decision even earlier of, do I do something that I know for a fact can happen, or do I take my chances on something that I don't know will happen and probably won't?
I mean, you get the Cole
That's the
Campbells,
risk.
you get the Matthias Alberts, you get the Calvin Sullivans, you get those kids that have so much that they've been told, and they know in their heart of hearts that they're a good enough player to go over there and play. But then you have the kid that's a fringe guy, right? You have he's a top U16 player, plays for FC Dallas. He's gotten offers to go second division Norway or second division in Scotland or something like that. That isn't right. It's not the pinnacle of, okay, you're in Bundesliga, you're in La Liga,
Right.
you're in these places. Do you go, like, in that situation, or do you stay in the homegrown academy and say, I'm going to try my luck and go to the MLS? Well, these kids are choosing, right, because of our system that we have, they're choosing to go over, because it's just, we're at the point where it's just not as good. We still aren't as good. We still can't match that level because of how divided we are, and is what I'm finding from research.
But then, so then take it a step further, right? Your question is, do you go? And you're seeing now more and more are wanting to go.
Yeah.
So the next step is, do you stay?
And what are the
That's the
incentives
tough
to
thing.
get them to stay?
But that's also right. But that's also not a one-way street. There's visa issues. There's literal pay issues. If you don't make enough to stay, you can't stay. There's the fact where, again, at 18, you're probably on mom and dad's insurance. Maybe you've already bought a car, they bought you one. It costs more to sell it, right? Even if you do sell it, you're still stuck with the difference. So you still have the debt. So you got to still make those payments. Well, you could live on $500 a month in a small town in Germany, but $350 of it is going to your car insurance here. So
you
now
really
you can't
have.
live off of $150, right?
Exactly.
So like, there's so many dynamics to why it's hard to stay. The other thing why it's hard to stay is, again, you have your buddies that are playing at Duke or whatever, even second, third division colleges, D3, NCAA. JUCOs have nice facilities now, right? So you're scrolling, you're in the crappiest locker room you've ever seen in your life, with cobwebs, with paint falling off. It smells, it stinks because the sewer system doesn't work that good. And you're still in a pro-reg situation where if you ball out for a period of time, you may get a call up, whatever. Yeah. But you scroll on social media and your buddy's playing on nice green grass. He's with the he's with the Neurotex or whatever, the Normatex, right? He's getting treatment, all this stuff, and he's posting, oh, great game, da-da-da. Yeah. And you're over here like, I don't want to post anything.
Exactly.
Because people are going to think I'm living a joke. Even though I get to talk a big game about sacrifice, I'm in wherever, Norway, Iceland, whatever, but I look around, I'm like, I'm not posting this.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to post my pictures that the photographers, because I'm playing on dirt.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
I was going to say,
big, heavy experience.
Can we talk
Sounds like
about
there's a lot of
this?
emotion.
No, I'm speaking a little bit from myself, but a little bit from, I've helped players go.
Yeah.
And they come right back.
Okay.
And again, there's a lot of reasons for that, right? It's never pinned down to just one thing, but it's so difficult to stay for a multitude of reasons. You even get the whole, I miss home, I miss my girl,
you're young.
like whatever,
You're
right?
young.
So it's already hard enough to go. I do think there's a cosmic shift happening where more are wanting to go. And I think that that's going to create a pull opportunity of agents and stuff that are willing to figure out how to get more players to go. Because the talent pool is also growing here.
And there's the reverse of that though now. If you look at the Division I college game, how many international players are coming and flooding our market nowadays, right? Because there's MLS, there's a cap, right? And we could debate 10 hours, plus if it's a good thing or not. But when you look at the college game, you guys at SMU played Marshall last year. That Marshall team had 2 Americans on them, on that team.
Well, my keeper at CSU Pueblo, I went D2 before I came SMU. My keeper was 27 during the season.
Yeah.
Holy
Jeez.
But
Yeah,
to the
it's
Marshall,
crazy.
like
Had a
2
gender
American
reveal for his
players.
kid after one of the games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But 2 American players on a top 5 Division I college program.
When the incentive for the professional team is to draft the 16-year-old American kid.
Exactly. So there's
System's flipped.
It's
flipped.
yeah,
Backwards.
100%.
There's a lot about it that doesn't make sense. There's also a little bit of beauty in that there's not one way. Right? And so like if there's anything that needs to be preached to these kids, it's Jordan has a great quote. A huge Jordan, Kobe, like any GOAT, Tom Brady, like any GOAT. He said, I have something greater than talent. I have patience. And he said that through his high school, and then he reiterated again in college, and then he said it again. It took the man, 7 years to win a title.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Scoring titles, all this stuff, but he has his eyes set on that freaking trophy. And he had something greater. He didn't get impatient. He didn't start blowing up. He was like, I know when things fall into place, it will be my turn. And once I get it, I'm not letting it go. Right? How many players are prepared for a season? Things don't work out. They lose patience. And then it takes off. Oh, I'm not prepared now.
or transfer.
I took those, or that, right? Like I took those 3 months. I got fed up. I this and that, whatever. And so you have to also have a level of understanding that there's not one way. There's multiple ways, and you just have to be ready, because one of those ways will find you. If you stay the course, if you stay grinding, and you also, right? Like the reality is, I started commenting on certain DMs and stuff backwards. Like, what do you need to be able to make it pro? Like all this stuff. I said, you need to be the best player around. Like,
Yeah.
it's just keep it simple, right? Like,
Keep it 100.
like you actually have to be good, dog. Like, let's be real. Like, everybody thinks they are, and that's fine. You need to have that level of confidence, and maybe you are, right? But did you show it when you were supposed to?
Yeah.
Right? Or were you just another player that was really good? Good job. You were good. We're not going to offer you something like, you're
That's
good.
the reality of it. Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yep, that's reality.
Are you that good? Like, let's start there. Then if the answer is yes, okay, now let's talk intangibles. But I'm not going to sit here and talk a bunch of intangibles when you're not going to impress the coach anyway.
Well, what are the intangibles though?
No, the intangibles, obviously, we could start with hard work. We could start with mentality. Simple things, right? Like, hey, run to that line and back, actually touch the line, right? Like, don't stop 2 inches short.
Hey, that's a missed start today. I'm working my 2013s and we're, touch the line and they're,
Yeah, like,
like
little things, right? And then communication, like, how do you communicate? Body language, fitness, right? Like, are you actually fit? Can you have a conversation with a coach? I started changing little conversations with players that I train when they would go back and ask their coach. I say, hey, you need to stop asking a coach what you can do to get more playing time or what you can do to get better. Because here's the reality. Like, you probably know where I'm going. Imagine being the coach, being the boss, like being an employer, right? And you give your employee training. Mm-hmm. You spend time with them by their computer. You show them how to do everything. You hire somebody else to come help them, whatever. You put them in a mentorship program. You give them everything they need. And then they come back, hey, what can I do?
Like, do what I'm telling you.
Bro, let's start there, right?
Amen.
So the shift on that communication, what I've started telling players that I train is I say, hey, first of all, hopefully everything your coach has been saying throughout the year, throughout the last couple months, little different pointers. Use them. Hey, coach, I noticed that you talk a lot about blank. And in this system that we play, if I'm the coach, I'm like, oh my God, I love you right now.
Hey,
Exactly.
it's actually hilarious that you said that, right? Like, I think you actually trained one of my 2013s.
Okay.
On Drew and I's pre-CNL group. But one of the things that I've started to notice is, you're right, players just come up to you and they're like, how can I get better?
Yeah,
or what can I do for fitness? Or that simple question.
Yeah.
And as a coach, it's not that I'm less inclined to help them, because I still,
Of course,
attached to
But it
helping
gives you a
them.
notion that they haven't been listening to you this whole time.
Exactly.
It gives like a carelessness, like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw my hands up, and if it happens, it happens. And that's what I think for me as a coach that's coaching at a high level, to say, is that the player that I really want in my system? Probably not.
Or do I want the one that says, coach, I noticed that we switched from a 4-4-2 to a 4-3-3 this year, and you're wanting us to play a little bit more through the middle, then go wide. When I make my run towards the middle, given this, it's like, oh my God, you've been listening to everything that I've said. So now we can get into now I can actually coach you.
I can teach you.
Right.
And those are the players
And
that
those
coaches
are
are motivated to really like talk on their behalf.
So intangibles, right? Again, going back to intangibles, like, are you a player that's even been listening intently to the point where you can actually have a conversation with a coach? Like, do you even know the game? Do you know what formation y'all play and how y'all attack and defend through it? Or do you not know? You just, I play center mid, and we play with two, and I can kind of, like, bro, like, because then what happens? You go overseas, you play for, I'm just throwing it, I don't like doing this, but you play for a guy like Pep, obviously a much lower level Pep, but a guy that's striving to be like that. Because coaches want to build careers too.
Exactly.
So just because you play, right. And so let's just take one of your players. Like, you're striving to be a high level coach, which means you like opportunities to coach high level ball. If your players aren't eye to eye with you, you don't get the opportunity to do that, right? And so again, it's about that. All of a sudden you find somebody that gets the game, understand, you're like, I can do things with this kid.
Yeah.
Right? So then you're going to catapult that kid. Well, same thing. We go overseas and we get a coach like that. Are you going to be catapulted by this coach? Is he going to refer you to the next level? Right? Or is he going to say, this one ain't got it?
Exactly.
Good player, but he ain't got it.
Or is he going to look out for himself and keep you where you are, right? Because sometimes that player can
coach
benefit
gets promoted.
him.
He brings players with him, right? Are you one of them?
Yep.
Are you one of the ones he'll bring with you?
Or he stays at that same level and keeps you there because you're making him look good, right? Because you might be that player. So then you get the short end of the stick.
So it just depends, right? But those are some of the intangibles that come to mind for me. Just simple stuff like that. I say simple, right? But nothing I mentioned right now is extra complicated, right? Like, we just said,
gets overlooked,
pay attention, right? Like, pay attention. That was one of them. Be fit. That was another one. Don't be an a-hole in your communication. Like, actually be able to communicate in the locker room, be a good teammate. Like, these aren't crazy concepts.
Exactly. No. And you summed it up when you said be ready. Because even if you're not playing, you can ask a coach, hey, coach, I noticed we switched formations. You can talk to teammates. You can look stuff up. You can improve. If you're having a bad day, my dad used to tell me, or not a bad day, sorry, like when I was starting to get better and I thought my teammates weren't as good, he's like, well, A, who are you? You're not nowhere near top A. So he humbled me firstly. Yep. And then he was like, there's always something you can work on. He's like, go out there, and he's a basketball guy. So you always say, well, dribble with your left hand. Soccer, go ahead and shoot 5 shots with your left foot. Yep. Right foot dominant. So at age 8, take a touch with your left foot. Oh, well, guess what? I'm not as good because I've been prolonging it because I've been able to do so much. But then you take a step back, and that's why I'm thankful for my dad. But you summed it up perfectly when you say stay ready and always be hungry, because you need that type of hunger. Because if you don't have that, you're not going to have the mentality to try to look for other options. Like you said, you're going to hit a wall and then I hit a wall and be stuck, instead of, I hit a wall, there's a window. There's a door. Let me just wait a little bit. Let me pace. Wait, that wall, it's not as big as I thought. Let me just walk around. You know what I mean? You can take a step back and see it. I
had a conversation last night with a player and a family, and the conversation went like this. They said, hey, what do we need to get better on? And I said, okay, first let's break this apart. They're comparing their son to other players on the team. And in that case, I kind of look at that and be like, why are you comparing yourself? Yeah. First of all, don't compare. You're two different players. Okay, but if we're gonna compare, which I never think you should, this kid had success because he's talented, because he is naturally gifted. He can, right? He's shifty, he's fast, fantastic. And this family that I'm talking to, their kid is built off hard work. Yeah. He's, I'm going to work every single day because I want to play at this level for this amount of time. And I basically told him, I said, look at the game that happened on Saturday. Talent and hard work started to come together, right? Because talent couldn't bump a guy that's twice his size off the ball. He was getting bumped off the ball. But hard work was playing two-touch around these kids like it was no one's business. So when you talk about hunger and you talk about staying ready and the intangibles, where does that hard work versus talent kind of rank for you in that intangible?
I think hard work is an intangible. I think talent is what it's hard, right? Like I just said, it's hard because I feel like when you're speaking to kids, the last thing you want to say is, just be good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because you want to teach all these lessons and everything like that. I think the older you get, the higher level you get. Number one, everybody's talented. So the intangibles are worth a little bit more because at a youth age, talent just kind of keeps going. Like the talented kid just keeps going, right? Because
100%.
he's talented.
Exactly.
Until he gets to a point where, look, you're not that much more talented than everybody else, and you're really like causing me a headache right now. So I'm gonna we're gonna look at different options real quick, and if I find one, cool, you're gone.
Exactly.
Right? If I don't find one, then I got to keep figuring out how to deal with you, because you do have to win games, right? You got to win games. If there's a kid that can help you win games, he's going to help you win games. But I think the conversation between the two is, again, if you don't have the talent to play, you're not going to play.
And that's the issue, though.
It's just that's
because you can
and
tell
maybe
them.
mom and dad. Well, my kid works harder. Yes, but he just don't got it.
But that's a hard conversation to tell a parent.
It's a hard conversation to tell a parent, for sure, especially if parents don't know themselves, right?
It's also,
maybe they're not soccer
works hard.
people.
My kid works hard. Well, 30 minutes in the backyard while you're cooking dinner once a week. Is that working hard?
Yeah, that too, right? Like, let's have a conversation.
What is the work? What are they doing? Is it stuff that they need to do? Like, you know what I mean? You get into the nuances.
Yeah, but I will say the intangible mindsets of work ethic, that's what'll keep a kid finding the window when he hits a wall. That's what keeping. So like if you can learn that lesson, the earlier you learn it, the more normal, right? So for example, I have a great relationship with failure. Me and failure, we get along. We're homies, actually. I don't have a problem with failure. You know why?
That's why you're so successful.
Well, because, and here's what taught me this, my love for freestyle. You know what you do every time you want to learn a new trick?
You fail.
You know how many times? You don't just fail once, dog.
Thousands.
You have to first decide, do I want to succeed at this? You have to have a real conversation with yourself. Yeah, look in the mirror, look into your soul, because you're about to go on a journey where you are going to question everything about yourself and everything about your talent and everything about who you are. Because all you're going to do for an unknown period of time is fail. If you're not okay with that, don't pursue the success.
And you hit it, the big thing, it's the unknown period
It's
of
an
failure.
unknown.
It could be a day,
If somebody said, "Hey, in 100 reps, you'll get it," cool. I'm gonna start counting my reps.
99,
No problem.
98.
But hey, in an unknown amount of reps, well, but will it be like today? Will I get it? I don't know. So what? I just gotta wait a year? I don't know. Oh, so it might be 10 years? Yeah, I don't know. Well, screw it. I'm not doing it then. Okay, then you're not doing it.
Exactly.
But I want to do it. I want to learn how to do it around the world. I want to learn how to do, you know what? Okay, well then learn. But like, what's the shortcut? Nah, homie.
You wish.
There ain't none of those.
You
dog.
wish.
No.
There ain't. Listen, man. So
get good at
I got a running joke with kids that, that come to train and they're like, "Hey, I want to learn how to do it around the world." I said, "Okay." They're like, "Can you show me?" I said, "Yeah." I do it first try, right? They're like, "So how do you do it so easy?" I was like, "Well, I didn't do it so easy. I failed way more than you failed. That's why I got it. How many times are you willing to fail?" "Well, what do you mean? How many times are you willing to fail?" But how did you learn it? Right? They're looking for the shortcut, right? Because I can do it. So obviously I learned a different way, right? And I'm like, "Oh, you want to know how I did it?" Okay. I failed. And I just go ahead and what I do, I never even finish the sentence and then I succeeded. I just walk away while I'm saying fail, and I go do something else. And I leave them just looking at me like, is he like?
Yeah. You're like, so what's the shortcut?
Yeah, bro.
Wait, you didn't tell me.
Exactly.
Wait,
you didn't, but then you succeeded, right? Well, I did because I can do it, but I'm not going to and so it's a fun concept, right? But so you have to, I think you grow the same way you grow any relationship, right? Like you grow into the relationship with failure to where it's just another part of life. It doesn't rock me one way or another. It's just a part of every day. Yeah. I will encounter it. It's going to happen. I don't care because I'm on my way. Exactly. So you have to have to have that real conversation. Do I actually want this? Do I want to start on this journey? If the answer is yes, then the answer is yes. Just because you hit a wall doesn't mean the answer all of a sudden is no. You already looked yourself in the eye. You already looked into your soul. You already had that conversation. I'm doing this. So that's that. I think so if I'm being honest, it gets more complicated later when like you get married, you have because it's not just you, like I'm doing this, but then you have your other half.
Exactly.
But like, what about now? Like,
While we're singing.
Is it not too difficult now? Like, you could be home earlier. It's like, but I already said I would do this. Yeah, well, we didn't talk about it, so oh my God. But no, like that's the other dynamic. That's another beautiful dynamic into it, right? But again, I think that's why the point of conversation is youth and kids 18 through 25 or whatever that, probably aren't dating yet, or if they are, they got to have that conversation too. Look, I might encounter a journey or start going on this journey where it's going to make this complicated. Mm-hmm. So are we doing this or not, right? Like these are all conversations we got to have. Do we do this until, or, whatever, because I have to prioritize this. If I don't, then by the 50th failure, I'm going to want to come crying home. Right. Exactly. And that's okay too, bro. I'm not saying one's worse than the other. Like one of my favorite Bible verses is God uses all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. So if you also love God and you feel like he has called you to a purpose, like he'll also use your failures. I had a chance to go to Benfica to try out. So Keaton Parks, who plays for New York FC, we were both supposed to go get picked up. I think Drew went on this trip. So Drew went on the trip. So the whole conversation was little Armando, Keaton, and me were the three. So he took a whole team out there for us three. Set up a bunch of scrimmages, but it was all for us three. I didn't go. I got married that same weekend. Right? And so, but what does that mean? Now, did I catapult into like a bunch of frustrations, depression, like anger and stuff like that? Yeah, of course, because I had felt like I'd missed out on an opportunity. I didn't feel like I did miss out on a crazy opportunity, which catapulted like 5 years of not playing, and just in the grind as a newlywed, right? As a new husband, which that's a crazy task that I was not fulfilling at the moment because of all my, sadness, anger, and just different stuff I was having to deal with. God can still use that. Been married this summer, 10 years of marriage this summer.
Congratulations.
That's two beautiful daughters, right? We just moved back to Dallas. There's a lot happening and stuff, but like only God, if you place your faith in him, if you truly, love him, understand he loves you and really believe you have a purpose. The purpose doesn't all of a sudden go out the water because you did something. You took a left turn when you were supposed to take a right. Like it can if you let it. But again, the reason why I love that Bible is that God's the only one that can literally take something that was meant for destruction and turn it into providing and positive and joy. He's the only one. And so that's why I hold real dear to my faith also, is because for the times where I feel like I did mess up, well, I can't do anything about that, but he can. And so I just, 100%. Put my whole life, trust in him that I'm also allowed to mess up. I never strived. I don't look to mess up, right? But I'm human. I'm going to. Yeah. And when I do, well, God, I wonder how you're going to use this because I just screwed everything up. But how can you use it, right? And so, and that applies to everything, right? Not just one thing or another. And so I think like that's part of the journey is you're going to mess up. You're going to take left turns when you're supposed to say right turn is supposed to go left. You're going to, whatever. But do you really, number one, trust that you have a purpose and that you're fulfilling your calling and heading in that direction, right? Did you actually get on the train that says we're going this way? And then are you, continuing to go that way? Like through mess ups, through mistakes, but I'm headed in this direction. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm doing now. My whole phrase is soccer's the tool, not the project. Right. And so I use my platform. I use the ball. I use, training kids, playing now again, coming out of retirement and stuff. But that's not my purpose. My purpose is so much greater than all the day-to-day activities that I do that I simply try to use in order to, accomplish, which is, to just spread God's joy and happiness with a ball at my feet. Ultimately that's kind of what I'm doing. And so, but it looks different day to day. It's a beautiful thing. And I get to do cool things like this. And man, I mean, it's beautiful. But yeah, when you're on that journey, anything can happen. But you got to be on that journey.
I think that's a really unique message that I don't think was one that we've heard kind of anyone talk about is the ability to fail over and over and over again and still have a goal in mind, right? Like on the bike. That's a tough thing for I think anyone. I'm not even going to talk about kids, but for anyone to understand. Right, is if you get fired from a job, okay, this is just an opportunity to now go do something else, or whatever it is. I think the moment of you getting married on the same weekend as one of arguably one of the biggest opportunities you had to go and play overseas is something that probably turned out to be one of the happiest days of your life, right? Your wedding, and could have been one that you look back on and say, had this gone differently, what would life look like?
Well, I like to think that I would have been playing in Champions League and, stuff like that. Maybe had had the honeymoon in Portugal, a lot of different ways, right? But again, that's the faith aspect, right?
Yeah.
Like, by the way, stories like that, I'm not one of one, right? Like I'm one of millions of whether it was exactly a wedding that took you away or something, or, you wake up, you're supposed to be at the airport and you have a flat tire and you can't get there, right? Like, and let's just take this back 20 years before cell phones too. Like, where's so-and-so? I don't know, but our flight's leaving. Let's go. Like, you can't call, you can't text.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro,
It's good luck.
you know what I mean? And then they find out 3 weeks later you had a flat tire and they hadn't talked to you. It's like, no way. That's how you missed this crazy opportunity. And so like, it's not one story either. Like but how many end up in true disaster rather than now looking back 10 years later, about to celebrate 10 years of marriage with a beautiful family, beautiful job, on a mission. Like, that will break people. It broke me for a period of time.
Can we talk about that real quick?
That's exactly what I was waiting to find the lull
yeah.
in, because right after you said Benfica, you had the trial, but you obviously didn't go because your wedding. You mentioned very briefly, you dealt with a lot of anger, sadness.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
almost got divorced twice.
Yeah.
Almost got divorced twice in those first 3 years.
So
a lot of it was my fault. So I just being transparent. I drowned myself in bottles. It's what I looked to. I looked into party and stuff. And again, I'm a new husband.
Yeah.
Like, that responsibility, like that status, and I was not fulfilling it at all. Right around completing our first, right after our first year of marriage, we get pregnant. She gets pregnant. We have our 7-year-old now. But like I said, it was like a 3-4 year period. So you're going from newlywed. I also bounced around. I had like 7 jobs in 2 years because I couldn't hold a job. I didn't want a job. I didn't touch a soccer ball for 2 years because I just didn't want to look at a soccer ball.
Yeah.
I cried at Keaton Park's U.S. national team debut. I watched it on TV. I was crying. I was happy for him. But, I was like, maybe it could have been me. I don't know. And then, yeah, man. So I couldn't hold a job. I was drinking like crazy, looking to go to parties, go out with my friends as opposed to being home with my wife. Imagine her, right? Like, she just got married too. Yeah. Supposed to be the greatest new adventure of her life. Mm-hmm. And it's awful. Yeah. Right? And so it wasn't until I was driving down 635, this is maybe 3 years in, I wasn't coaching, I wasn't doing anything soccer-wise. I was driving down 635 in my Honda Civic coupe at the time, 2008, blue Honda Civic. And I can't explain this. I hear a voice in my car. And he just called me and said, David, quit being selfish.
Turn around like, who's in my car?
Dog, I was like, what the... And then, but it's crazy. What's crazy? The moment I realized it was God having a conversation with me, I got pissed. Yeah, you would call me selfish?
No way.
You took everything from me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm selfish? So now I'm mad, right? Yeah. I'm mad. I went from like shocked, what the heck is going on, to like, oh, you want to have a conversation? Let's have a conversation. Yeah. And my attitude and anger lasted like maybe 20 seconds. Because right after that, it went to, he pretty much said, what's up, puppy? Come here. It went from you're being selfish, stop being selfish, to I haven't taken anything from you. Everything I've given you, you still have. And you are still mine.
Wow. That's powerful, man.
And I was like, that's true. I felt comforted. I felt like I still had a purpose. And I felt like I was given a journey to go on. Because the whole premise of my depression, of my anger, was I lost my purpose in my journey.
Mm-hmm. Whether it was that purpose being soccer,
whether it was my fault, his fault, whatever, right? Like, I was lost. And so like all the mindset stuff, all the intangibles that we were talking, they all have to apply to something. Yep. If not, they're just in thin air. Mm-hmm. If you don't have anything to apply it to, it's gone. Now here's lesson number 2. If the only thing it's applied to is something that can be gone,
what is it worth really?
Then it's not really you.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's when I decided, okay, my identity, my purpose is going to be found in something that can't be shook. Right? A ball can be shook. Mm-hmm. What can't be shook? Well, God. Yep. My relationship with him. So what he calls me to, what he gives, no man can take away. Right? And so it was like, all right, we're going on this journey. And it's the same thing. No failure can take away. Right? So all of a sudden, all these intangibles that I was really good at applying to something, all of a sudden now had something greater to be applied to. And so that's why sometimes people are like, man, you just go. Like, you don't waver. Like, it's like, well, because it's not about me and it's not about what will happen or transcend. This is attached to something that is going to be here long after I'm gone anyway.
Exactly.
Right? It's been here, it's going to be here. And so I took about, this is the hard reality stuff that y'all want to get to. It still took about 9 months to change my habits. It was a snap of the fingers realization, but it was about a 9-month life turnaround. I had to rekindle with my wife. I had to learn how to become a better father, right? Because I was a father, but I wasn't a good one. I had to start cutting out certain people from my contact list that were toxic. I had to stop going to certain things, which, when it's habitual, it's like, okay, I go less now. Well, no, I need to just not go at all, right? And so like certain stuff like that. And so I got back into coaching, right? I started using the gifts and talents that God had given me. And then the crazy thing about all this, when I was 8 years old, I was alone in my room, and for whatever, we must have been doing something in school, going over about Europe or something, pictures in Europe. I don't know. I became infatuated with Europe. And I had a conversation with God in my room, 8 years old, and I was like, I want to go to Europe, but I want you to take me, and I want to go for soccer. That's it. Never told anybody about that conversation. So fast forward, I had trips in high school, like academic trips I could have gone to Europe on. I always said no. Church trips, could have gone to Europe. I always said no. And everybody's like, why not? You love Europe. Why don't you want to go? I kept it to myself, right? My mom wanted to take everybody to Spain in 2018. And they were about to buy all the tickets. They'd take the whole family, like everybody, to Spain, to a school over there. We were all going to volunteer and stuff like that. And this was right towards the end of, I had started coaching again and this and that. And I just remember I was like, you know what, God, I still want to go to Europe. Like, it's cool. Like I know we talked about this like 17 years ago, but like, it's fine. It was my fault. I ruined things. Thanks for kind of bringing me back in. Like,
almost like a don't worry about it now. Like,
yeah,
you probably don't even remember this conversation.
Right, God, like don't worry,
Okay, yeah.
And so I was like, cool. So I'm like, I finally get to go to Europe. I'm gonna experience Spain, like this and that with my family, all this stuff. 4 of my parents' rent houses go vacant within 3 weeks. So they about lose like a lot. It's like a lot of uncertainty. Hey, never mind, we're not going to Europe. I was playing for Dallas Elite at the time. I started playing again, started coaching, started playing again. I come out of nowhere and score like 9 goals in 11 games or whatever. And the whole chatter is like, oh, Dave's back, because I hadn't played in 3 years. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, Dave's playing again. Oh, Dave's playing at a high level again. This, that. One conversation turns into another phone call, blah, blah, blah. 2 months after, so all this kind of happened at the same time. 2 months after my parents canceled the trip to Europe, I'm on a flight to Spain to go try out.
God's plan, man.
That's
My God.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, man.
And I make it, and I come back and get my wife and my daughter, and we all go live over there for a season.
That is beautiful. That's
man.
awesome.
That is,
and so we got to live over there, and there's been a lot of cool things that I don't take for granted. That I think God has kind of revealed certain things about Himself to me, which I'm blessed for Him to have chose me to do that. But that's one of them, right? It's like, okay, you are faithful, like to a T.
Yep.
And all He asks of us is to do it, to be the same, right? Like, like, hey, just, follow me, trust me. Like I got plans for you. Like no amount of failure, no amount of, going off course can derail the things that we have together, as long as you always kind of come back, right?
Exactly.
So that 9 month.
That was 2019, but the 9 month turnaround
was
dude,
that was your major detour. That was your rock bottom. Would you say?
Yeah. Well, the prior, so it was like 3 years, 2.5, 3 years of rock bottom, and then a 9 month of like climbing out of the pits and like learning
that realization, and then 9 months of application. And I think that's what people miss. You had the realization, and it wasn't like things got better the next
day. It's not
overnight
or
a week,
no.
But it was that unknown period of time that you had to keep pushing. You have to cut out this person. You can't go there. You have to do this. Why? But it's pushing you in the right direction for all these blessings that were lined up.
No,
and
exactly, bro. Exactly. And so, but I think it was a lot of the intangibles that I already had, a history of my life, lessons learned that allowed me to get through those 9 months, right? Like you said, application. Well, application of what? Well, application of all the lessons and things that I had learned, right? Yeah. Just instead of applying them in one way, it's like, no, now we're going to apply them to this, and we're going to trust that's the whole point, right? And so it's been a journey ever since. So then coming back from Spain, 2019, COVID hit. So it was kind of a blessing that the visa didn't get approved when we were over there for the second time, for the second season. Because if not, we would have been in Spain during COVID.
You'd been stuck
there.
Instead, we were in Houston, Texas, which...
Hey, here?
There was no COVID, right?
There was no COVID in Texas.
But you're still in Houston. Like, it's still Houston. So, like, you could have been... No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, man, so, like, just his provision, like, through all of it, to give me that gift, to kind of settle that score, and then to bring me home and catapult what now SocccerDave kind of has done. I kind of equate the whole SocccerDave to like Saul and Paul in scripture. So Saul was he would kill Christians. He worked for the Roman army, and he would he was in charge of like finding all the people that said Christ was resurrected and this and that. And he was like, no, let's just murder all these people. And then he had an encounter with Christ, who blinded him on his road to Damascus, I think. Yep. And told him, your name now is Paul.
Yep.
So he literally changed his name for the second part of his life. And then his entire life after that was sharing the gospel, sharing the good news of Jesus that, and his testimony is insane. I used to kill people that did what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
At the level that he's doing it. And so I kind of, not at that level, right? Yeah, but, you had kind of David Balliet. And now you have, kind of SocccerDave, who's on a complete mission. And SocccerDave is spelled with 3 C's. Third C stands for Christ. So that's the third C.
See, and I love that, because in a funny story, when Zach told me, he's like, yeah, we're getting this guy named SocccerDave on the podcast. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's his Instagram? SocccerDave. Cool. Type in
find
soccer.
it.
I'm like, bro, what is it? SocccerDave. I'm like, bro, what are you talking? He's like, I'm like, is it on Instagram? He's like, yeah, he has 200,000 followers. I'm like, bro, I'm typing in SocccerDave. I can't find it. He shows me your profile. I go, bro, he has 3 C's. I was like, see, so we got to ask him why. But that's you. So I couldn't find you. And then I type in C for Christ.
Which I think for me is key, right? Because life is hard. Life's difficult. It has a lot of twists and turns. You can lose yourself constantly.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of my name is my anchor. I can't hide from what's happened.
Yeah.
I can't hide from my experiences. A lot of times we try, and it's like, did that really happen, right? Because we try to justify doing the wrong things or changing or not. We want to justify not being so disciplined in our journey, in our path. So this sidekick season, for example, has been draining.
Listen, we need to talk about this for sure. Because the MASL, right, major arena soccer league.
Hey,
for
legit,
you guys
though.
that don't know,
it's legit.
Absolutely legit.
Absolutely
some absolute
legit.
ballers
Yes.
in it. But
don't sleep on it.
It is like a glorified Sunday league game that happens indoors on turf.
Better have that dog
From
mentality.
when I watch it,
You gotta be a dog.
Yeah. But this goes back to when we were talking at the beginning of the pod.
Yeah.
Is this MASL sidekicks the grind like playing youth soccer in Argentina?
So okay. So yes and no. I think the games, yeah.
Okay.
How high paced it is, how hockey like kind of deal, like and again, I got the most fouls in the league, so
we like that. We appreciate a good challenge around here. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
The reason why it's been difficult for me is I have spent the other than 2 years ago when I had my huge transformation, lost 32 pounds. And started playing USL 2 for AC Houston El Sur. That was a crazy time. Coach randomly found me. I mean, you got to think, 32 pounds overweight. People are. No.
Right now. I'm 35 pounds down. Now competing in CrossFit professionally. So
there you go.
I'm right there with you. Yeah. Like, I remember the last time we saw each other at TST. I was,
Mo.
You
look good, man.
Mo Leitner walks up to me and goes, "How can you coach soccer and be that big?" And I'm like,
wake up call.
Oh, fuck.
He said, wait a minute.
When Mo Leitner says it, you listen.
When a guy that played for Norwich and BVB tells you, I don't know how you do that. Yeah, something probably flips in your mind. Come back home, and I just absolutely just grinded. So I'm in the same boat as you. But that shit's hard.
Like,
yeah, no. So
huge.
so I changed everything about my day to day because you have to, right? Like you're like, all right, I have to somehow find and designate 4 or 5 hours a day. Where are the 4 or 5 hours? Like where? So I mean, there were a
And you have
ton,
kids
dog.
and a
There were-
wife.
I'm telling you right now, there was I don't make my own schedule, right? Like.
Yeah.
Like if I have time throughout the day, it's like, all right, do I go to the gym and neglect my wife and kids, or do I go see my wife and kids and go to the gym at 2 a.m.?
Well, that's kind of a no-brainer, right? Like,
Is it, bro? Like that's tough,
yep.
bro.
no,
Like,
but in
it's
actuality,
way
right? Like
consistent.
it's your family. Like
That's
for me,
application.
I guess for me that would be a no-brainer to say I get to spend time with my family. And
Yeah.
have it both ways.
What about week
No, it's
5?
I know it's but that's the thing.
2 a.m. You're like,
But that's the thing, right?
Oh,
It's
man.
you can't. That's the grind about it. Is
That's the
having
grind.
those people being able to say, yes, I'm gonna try and prioritize my family. I'm gonna try and prioritize getting fit, right, and all of these things. But right, most people think you can only have one priority. But in that situation, number one is family, right?
Yeah.
For me, number one
You'll
is
like
family.
you'll like this one. What I'm gonna say.
Right. So then that next piece is, I'm gonna work my ass off, and whatever that toll is to get to where I'm going, I have to take it.
Yeah. No. So y'all like this take. This is a good take. So everybody talks about balance in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem about balance is the only way you have balance is if you add or subtract.
Yep.
Right? So if you have a balance, like an actual balance, right? If I put this cup here, I have to decide, do I put another cup here? Right? Or do I just take this one off?
Yeah.
So there comes a point where, and hardly anything is even,
Yeah.
right?
Nothing.
The moment I add something else here, it's not going to be the exact same.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's either going to outweigh. So then I got to take this one off, but I want to keep this one. So now I got to add more on this side, right? So the challenge with balance is it's practically unachievable. However, harmony, you can add as many notes as you want as long as they make sense.
That's beautiful.
That's huge.
That's beautiful.
The moment they don't make sense, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and then comes the discipline to let it go. So what I learned during that time was I actually can do a lot as long as it makes sense and complements. And then if it doesn't, do I have the discipline to say no? Or am I going to be stubborn and say, but I still want that?
Wow. I mean, that's like, I think one of the things right now for me is I'm coaching in 3 different places, doing school, trying to run this company, and trying to be, a professional CrossFitter. So I totally agree with you. Right now, they're all working in harmony, and it's beautiful, right? Because I can go thing to thing to thing to thing.
Right.
The second, and one kind of has started to stick its head out is I don't know that I have the ability to give that up because it's a hard thing to do, right? To say this isn't really benefiting me anymore, but I still have skin in the game in it. Like, can you let that thing go?
Right.
For me, I haven't tried yet.
And for everybody,
what does that look like?
right? Okay, so for example, so during that time, it looked like 2 a.m. workouts or 6 a.m. workouts, midnight workouts, right? Maybe if I got lucky during the day. But then during the day, it was, okay, if I'm going to do it during the day, I got to get this other gym membership as opposed to the one I have because then I can take my kids and check them in.
Yeah.
Right? Well, now that's money,
Extra
right?
money.
So then how do I make up for the extra money? Well, then now I got to let go of this or figure out if I can pick up extra hours, or whatever, right? So, but you start to figure it out. The difference now with the sidekicks is I'm not on my schedule. And so that's what I was going to get at in terms of, and that during that time, I was on my own schedule to get ready to play. So I had to lose the 30 pounds. I had to get fit again, all this stuff. Then in season, it was still tough, but it was training twice a week and one game, right? And everything was in town. If we traveled, it was maybe Corpus or whatever, but it was one day.
Yeah.
The sidekicks and the MASL, the reason why I respect the absolute heck out of it, it is not an easy league to play in. Back to back, it's like the NBA season almost. It's more relatable to that.
Got back-to-back games?
Dog, we went to, so this was the craziest week. We go to Mexico, we play Saturday, Sunday in Mexico. Back-to-back games. These games are no joke, bro. You're going 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. Really, everything's
45
compact.
to 90 seconds at a time, and then going about it again, and then again and again. And your body's just getting wrecked in these games. So back to back, Saturday, Sunday, come back, train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, fly to the Northeast, play Harrisburg 7 p.m., drive to Baltimore, get to Baltimore midnight, 1 a.m. By the time you go to sleep, 2 a.m., whatever, wake up, play an 11 a.m. game against Baltimore.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
they stitched you for that one.
God,
Dog.
almighty.
And so what was cool is in that week, I scored 4 goals in the 4 games. But the thing, well, we didn't win them all. I think we didn't win any.
Hey, way to bury the lead on that one, bro.
We went 0 for 4 on that week. In that week.
Yeah, it was bad. I scored a bunch of play well, but we won. We didn't win. No.
We started high. We went real low, real fast. But no, man, this league though, I have never been pushed physically, mentally, emotionally like I've been pushed since starting to play with the Sidekicks. The demand on the schedule, the demand mentally, because you are a pro, right? Like you have to win these games. At least you feel that way. I hope all of my teammates feel that way, right? You know, then the other thing of having a little bit of a presence online, people are watching, you know, what I'm doing, how it's going. The demand is real. And we talked about earlier, when you have that conversation with yourself, you say, I'm doing this. Then when you experience failure or you run into a wall, it's okay, right? I've had to have multiple conversations with myself this season trying to re-answer the question, why am I doing this? It was, you know, there's no need.
Yeah.
There's no need. I'm not in a position where I need this. I'm not in a position where this is a catapult towards something. It doesn't necessarily feel like a stepping stone towards anything. It felt like something that I could do, that I would have fun doing, and that the timing and the logistics of it were good enough not to feel like I was being pulled in too many directions, away from my family, away from all the projects that I have going on already, and stuff like that. Now, I say all that, so bringing it back full circle to how I started in this, I got lost in it because it just, I'm doing it, I'm serious about it. I hadn't gone to speak anywhere or done something like this since I started the season.
Really?
Right. Wow. And now I've been hurt twice during the season. I tore 2 ligaments in my ankle. Nobody knows this. Tore 2 ligaments in my ankle. I've been playing hurt this whole season. Right now my knee is acting up.
Dog mentality.
My knee's acting up, which is tough. But played the last game. Got to figure out. I think I'm taking this week off, and then we'll figure out next week. But all that being said, I said yes to something. Soccer's the tool, not the project, right? Yeah. So I took on a big power tool, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been trying to figure out how to use it. Mm-hmm. That I've lost the project. It's like you have all these blueprints, and then you're given the tool to fulfill them. And you're like, oh, this tool, nah. And it's like, dog, you got to keep building.
Yeah, you can't just stop.
You still have a project to build, right? So last week, I, you know, because of schedule and stuff, I get invites, you know, like y'all's constantly. And I've said no, or I'll put it off, be like, yeah, I'll let you know a good time, this and that. Yeah. And it just always gets pushed back. So I've been able to speak. I've been asked to speak at my old high school to the soccer team.
I saw that on Instagram. Mesquite Petite.
Bro, I put that off for like 2 months, 3 months. I just didn't go, you know. And last week I texted him same day. I said, hey, can I go today? And he was like, yeah, just come on. I was like, perfect. So I went.
Easy.
That's awesome.
That night, Thursday night, I texted, I had an invite to go speak to the ETBU, East Texas Baptist University soccer team. And I've been putting it off. Thursday night, I texted, hey, can I go tomorrow morning? Yeah, of course. Yeah. So got out of Sidekicks practice, drove 2.5 hours, spoke to them for 30 minutes, had lunch, and then drove 2.5 back to get to work. Yeah. Right? And so like the same way I'm sacrificing for the tools, I have to constantly remind myself, I have to sacrifice for the project.
Exactly.
You know, and use the tools. And it was 2-3 months. Like, right, we talk about all this discipline. We talk about all this stuff, the 9-month turnaround, you know, the understanding all these things, all these intangibles. You still have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not easy. Like, it's not motivation. Like, it's not an edit. You're not an edit. Day, like, bro, you're hyped up. Oh, yes, I get to work on my discipline today.
No,
I get to work on my patience.
No.
That shit sucks.
And so, but yeah, no, for sure. No, for sure. So what happened was I felt like I was getting lost again. And I was like, I have to get back to who I am. I can't get lost in trying to get stats. I can't get lost in even trying to recover from my ankle, my knee. Like, these are things that it's just a new thing into the mix of notes in the harmony, you know, but I can't stop playing. the music, right? I can't just, it's like, it's all building to the seismic thing of whatever the heck God has. Exactly. Right. And so you got to keep living, right? You got to keep reminding yourself, why am I here? What is it that I'm doing? And, to me, it was a little bit of, I was disappointed with myself that I had gone 2 months without speaking and kind of pouring my heart out. The same way we're doing it here, right? But just with a crowd. And not that I don't do it every day with kids that I train and stuff like that, but I was like, there's more that I can do, more that I need to be doing. I don't need to get lost in one tool. I need to keep the blueprints alive and keep building. And so on a whim, I was like, I gotta get out. Like, I gotta get out. like I'm being consumed right now. I gotta get out. And I say all that to say, like, I'm not looking for an out with the sidekicks or anything like that. I love competing. I love being in the locker room. I love being around the guys. I love playing, whether I'm hurt, playing at 70%, 100%, 50%. Like, I think everybody in the organization knows what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to foul a bunch of people. And I'm just kidding. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to run. I'm going to give everything that I got. I'm going to try to score goals. I'm going to try to be there for my teammates. I'm going to try to help us win. Whether that's a forward in the league playing a bunch of defense, which is what I catch myself doing constantly. Instead of scoring goals, I'm playing defense. But if I got to block shots, man, to help us give us a chance to win, I'll do it, right? If I got to chase somebody down and get a huge scar on the side of my leg, bro. If I got to do that, I'll do it, right?
Hey, what a play that was, though. Hey, what a play.
I'm a whatever kind of guy, Like, I don't know this game and this MASL game and positions and rotation. I don't know them well enough yet to try to pretend that I can, sit up top and score goals. So I'm going to run, man. I'm going to run. I'm going to give everything I got. But yeah, man, I say all that to say, like, when you're on a journey, bro, like, you're on the journey, like, things come up, you say yes to a bunch of things, you got to figure out what to say no to, or you say no to things, and you got to figure out how to not just balance it, but find the harmony in it so that you can find the beauty in it. Because the moment you don't, that's when you start to question everything, like, you got to find the beauty in the failure, you got to find the beauty in the schedule, find the beauty in the grind, in the discipline, in the hurt, right? Like, my knee hurts, bro, like, where's the beauty in that? Well, I don't know. Let's find out. But let's keep going,
So,
beauty in the struggle.
Hey,
so, yeah.
On this, because I had a conversation on this. You spend a lot of time recovering, eating right. Please share how you do it, because I think that's a lost art of truly diving into recovery, diving into nutrition. Please tell people, what does
give them the
SocccerDave,
the one pill they can take.
Yeah, give them the shortcut.
Shortcut.
Give the SocccerDave shortcut to nutrition and recovery.
Bro, there's no short. So my daughter, there came a point when I was recovering from my ankle that my daughter would ask, "Are we getting treatment today?" She would go with me.
That's sweet.
You know what I mean? Like, how can I get time with Ellie when I need to go get treatment? Hey, do you want to go with me? You know what I mean? Like, I got some friends that have the Normatec boots. Hey, can I borrow those? Right? So that I can be at home and recover. Now, there's certain things I can't, like red light therapy and some other things that I've taken a lot of advantage of having access to. But no, man, I think, especially as I've gotten older, I get really annoyed when I'm hurt. I don't like nagging pain. It's something I deal with constantly. I was doing really good for a while, and then I started playing, high level ball again. And then it was, why would I do that? I was completely fine, and now But nah, man. Okay, so how do I do it? Man, you just do it. Like I
equate this to when we're at TST, right? We're all getting ready to leave. Where's Dave?
Yeah, I'm getting a massage.
Where is he? The guy's sitting in the tent, it's got the boots on, just chilling there on his phone. And you're like, Dave, we got to go, man. He's like, all right, 15 minutes. I'll be done. But like, you stress that. It seems like a lot if people watch your Instagram.
If you believe if you believe it works, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean,
right? Like, if you have a high standard. I think it's more than
believing, though.
If you have a high standard, here's the thing, right? Like, because if you don't necessarily believe it'll have an impact on your performance, you won't do it. Right? Like, I truly believe it goes hand in hand with how I will perform.
Okay.
Yep.
So if I don't do it, I'm in my head now. 30 minutes in and I feel something, gosh dang it, man, I could have just done another 15 minutes. Would it have made a difference? I don't know, but I'm convinced that it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what keeps me there, the extra 15 minutes, the extra 30 minutes. That's what keeps me trying to eat. I say trying to eat right. I don't always eat right. I appreciate that though, but But that's what keeps me trying to eat right and stuff, because I do firmly believe it makes a difference. And let's be honest, we'll have conversations with some people that are like, nah, it don't make a difference. And to them, it doesn't.
Chad Ochocinco.
I was just about to say, like, that man.
Bro, exactly. But, you know, to us, science shows, like all these studies show, Chad, if you would have eaten good, look at what you did without eating right.
Exactly.
Without recovering, right? Yeah. But he'll just be like, hey, look at my numbers. Whatever.
And for him, that's cool.
I don't think I'm that good. So I think that's the other piece, right?
That's
Like
true.
you said, dad coming in and saying, look, dog, you ain't that good.
Exactly.
Right? Like I truly don't think I'm that good that I can get by not doing that stuff.
Do all of y'all hear that? Please understand that this is a guy that is played professional, that is saying to himself he isn't, right? He ain't the best, so he's got to do that stuff to make sure he's ready to go every single day to compete at the highest level. And I think that's where most people don't understand that. Youth, college, pros, wherever it is, they won't go and they won't do that because they think they're too good for it, or they don't need it for themselves.
Yeah.
And I think is the thing Lamar said earlier, of just the humbleness of saying, yeah, I might not be that good, but I'm damn sure going to be 100% able to compete day in, day out, no injuries, and steer clear. So, I mean, that's huge to hear from you. You know, the
intangibles are too valuable. The running, the work ethic, it's too valuable to me to put myself in jeopardy of not being able to do it at a high level. Like if I was good enough to walk around, control a ball, hit it top bins every time, then I probably wouldn't recover because I don't need to walk around, get a ball and hit it, right?
Smack it, yeah.
But some of my greatest strengths are chasing a guy 50 yards. So if I'm going to live up to some of my greatest strengths, was that I'm willing to do that. Well, now the question is, am I able to do that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm convinced that I'm going to be able to do it if I eat right, if I get my recovery, if I take care of my body, if I get my mobility working, if I warm up properly, if I cool down after the game because I got to do it again tomorrow, right? Like, and so that's, I believe in my intangibles. I believe that they're just as important, if not greater, to my personal game than just hitting top bins volleys. And I think it's attributed to a lot of my success so far.
Dave, man, we could keep going for
We
hours.
keep going, dog. What time is it?
This is like, this is one we ask on every pod, the last four. And if we want to keep going after that, we can. But we always ask our guests to build a dream 6-a-side team.
Yeah.
Pros, dead or alive, you got to give us a formation. So 1 keeper, 5 field players.
Oh, I think we go with us 3, and then let's figure out the other 3.
Oh, yeah. I've been retired for a month now.
Hey, TST, listen to that one right here. Lamar, Dave, Zach, we're coming. Don't worry about us. We'll find 4 more guys to fill up a page.
I'll look so good on camera because I'm getting good at editing. So I'll look like messy on socials, bro. I'll be able to edit the LUTs and the transitions.
Hey, man. You need to be my media guy at TST this year, bro.
I'm learning all that. That's why I'm here. I'm grinding. Let me know.
He's going to come as the BVB media guy if we get invited.
Hey, yeah, what's going on with BVB, bro?
Man, we gotta figure
I need my invite back.
How about my invite?
I already have a couple other invites, but I'm trying to hold off.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, we hear that? I mean, come on. It's I'm waiting for mine. You know, I thought
BVB's got like a little bit longer, like maybe 2 more weeks before I can't hold off anymore and got to tell somebody else yes.
I mean, I'm kind of in a similar boat right now as well. So there's some things cooking in other places. So bring us back, please. It was a unbelievable adventure, but back. Give us your 6-a-side team.
6-a-side. All right, keeper. I'd probably go with Casillas.
Valid.
Okay.
Probably go with Casillas.
Hey, show them.
Oh, they're playing right now.
Yeah, they are. They just started playing. Yeah.
There you
Hala
go.
Madrid, baby. Best club in the world.
Then I got to go with, let's see if you said formation or anything. I don't know. What did I do with 2-3-1? Probably go with 2-3-1. So let's go with 2 center backs. Probably go Maldini. Maldini and let's go with Ramos.
Valid.
And that's the second. That's the second or third time Ramos has been picked over Van
There's
Dijk. Man,
There's a reason. Right here, baby.
all right.
Reason.
Okay.
Come on, bro.
Nah, I just think, I think he's a dog. We're talking 6-a-side, right? Like, you don't
we're
have
talking
that much
6-a-side.
space. Like,
No,
Van
no.
Dijk can cover a lot of space.
Yeah.
Well, there ain't that much space to
got good
cover in a
feet, too.
6-a-side, dog. Like,
Almost got that
But,
Spanish
hey,
blood, bro.
well, the thing is, you got to
He's a
think
blocking machine,
you're playing other 6-a-side teams, which probably have everybody that
Mm-hmm.
So I just need somebody to just hit them, you know. So I'll probably go with Maldini, Ramos in the back, 3 across the middle, let's go ahead and go Dino on the left.
Yep.
Let's go Riquelme in the middle.
Wow.
What a pick.
Wow. What a
Elite ball
shout.
knowledge.
Messi,
Wow.
Messi on the right and Ronaldo up top.
You're missing one.
Good team.
No,
Oh, no.
2-3-1, 2-3-1. And I know I'm leaving out. Let's have some shout outs. I'm not
Give
gonna
your
say-
bench. Give your
no,
bench.
I'm not gonna, no, because I don't want to bench them. They'll quit if I bench them. I'll just give some shout outs. You got R9. R9 is a crazy shout out. And maybe I go with R9 up top. I did say Ronaldo. So, either one, interchangeable. Let's see, other shout outs. Tevez is another shout out.
Oh, give us a coach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, manager.
Coach. Okay, I'm going to go. So I'm a Boca Juniors fan. I'm going to go with the most winningest coach all time for Boca Juniors, which is Bianchi, Carlos Bianchi.
I really was.
Carlos Bianchi beat Real Madrid
Yeah.
in the final 2003.
I was debating wearing the Boca Juniors jersey today. I should have. It was a terrible decision on my
I would have
part.
given you a bigger hug than I gave you.
I know.
At the hello, at the jump.
I told him before the pod, I'm like,
Yeah, you
hey,
should've.
he's from Argentina, grew up there.
You also said you
And
picked
it's-
Ronaldinho too.
Yeah,
I
for
did
sure.
say it,
Did
but
say that.
I'm sitting in my
Hey,
bed. I got
Dino,
all the
Riquelme,
jerseys
Messi
out.
though, across the three.
Wicked. And I'm like, no, let's wear Inter Milan today. Yeah, so I apologize. That's on me.
That's okay. I like Inter Milan. Who's on the bag? Is it-
No. Yeah, I got this one from shout out TSD again.
Yeah.
Got this one from
shit.
TSD.
Well done.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because they had a team there.
Trade with somebody or what? Or you just bought it there?
No, I bought it there, man.
You got to trade.
Trade with
You gotta
someone. That would have
trade.
been
You gotta
fun.
get-
I
you
didn't
gotta
get
get
anything to
memorabilia, bro.
trade though. That's
I still want your jacket. You said you'd give it to me.
it's sitting. I got you.
Coming
I
to
got you.
collect.
If you want it.
You thought I came for the pod, bro? I came to collect.
This is a looting
He's like,
section. You
hey,
came
yep,
for gear.
yeah, it's time, Zach. It's time. I got it
15
for you
feet
right
that
there.
way.
Yep.
That way. Come on.
I got almost two. Now, Drew, don't listen to this. I got too much BBB stuff nowadays, and I keep getting more and more. And I've gotten.
I'll take something off.
I've got 4 drawers full of like shirts.
What do you
I
got?
had to
Like every
donate
6 months,
some.
y'all get all the new stuff, right?
Like,
Kinda?
yes and no. It's kind of
Get
like
some
a
stuff.
like a
Get
process.
some stuff
It's
every
like
6 months.
I would say it's you get things throughout the year. Shout out Kat. She hooks me up and makes sure that all the coaches are well taken care of. Her and Nancy do a fantastic job.
I love it.
So it's
Shout
awesome.
out. Hey, what do y'all 6 aside?
My 6 aside.
Y'all have it already? I hope y'all do.
Yeah, I have it.
Y'all ask everybody else.
I'm a little biased in my selection.
He's gonna put out like Real Madrid's best 7.
Because I said it too. Same thing. 2-3-1. Casillas, Ramos, Pepe. But because of bias, here's why.
Come on, man. There's so many better center backs than Pepe. He did say he's biased. That's fine. No, just keep going then. That's fine.
Like you've heard
fine.
him. You've heard him.
Come on.
Nah, we're sticking with Pepe, bro. I stand on it, bro.
Come on.
I like that, bro. Hate me in the comments. On the left, I put Ronaldo. Actually, I'm taking out Pepe because we're doing small-sided. I'm moving Ramos to the right, and I'm putting Marcelo.
Oh, he took
Put
mine.
Marcelo.
Yeah, that was gonna be
Marcelo.
mine.
You don't want him farther up the field?
Well, because that's why, because I put Ronaldo on the left. Marcelo basically a winger, Ronaldo
Yeah.
there anyway. And then on the right, Messi. And then on the cam, this was just like my favorite player growing up because I was a Madrid fan. I liked Ozil a lot. So I know but for 6 aside too.
Ozil to TST?
Side pull. Can we get it? And then
Up top.
Ronaldinho. Either
Dino up
Ronaldinho
top.
or this is my bias, bro. I'll get a lot of flack for it. My boys give it. I love Benzema, bro. I think he's one of the most hated players of all time,
Hey,
bro.
stick to
Benzema's
it, bro.
real, bro.
But
Benzema's real.
I gotta put Ronaldinho. I'm not gonna disrespect Ronaldinho.
Let's
by-
go.
Yeah.
All right,
Ronaldinho.
I'm putting together a team of
Coach Pep.
workhorses.
Pep coach.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
My coach, first of all, Jose, absolutely the guy I model my coaching after. So, gotta have him on the bench. But I'm going to 3-2-1. We're gonna attack in a 2-3-1. Okay, so we're gonna park the bus defensively, but we'll catch you on a counter.
Only one goes at a time. I like
Yeah,
it. All right.
yep. So I am gonna put Van Dijk in the middle.
Keeper first, no?
Keeper first. Give me Roman Weidenfeller.
I don't even know who that is.
It's okay.
What a pull.
Yeah, give me
I've
Roman.
knowledge gone.
I like Roman. He was a lot of fun
Okay.
to be
Yeah,
around
he was.
at TST.
Good locker room guy.
Good locker room guy.
Good locker room
Yeah,
guy.
big time chemistry guy.
Valid, man, hey.
Yeah.
Whatever gets the dub.
You know, it'd either be him or it'd be Casillas, one of the two. But in front of him, I go Van Dijk in the center. I go Marcelo on the left. Now for me, you know, I'm a huge Trent guy, so I put Trent. I put Trent on the at the right and let him kind of roam. And I both attacking threats on the side, so you know we set there. Midfielders. This is when I put the midfielders of I'm going young. You know, we're looking in the future. I'm going Tchouaméni and Camavinga. Let the French guys.
My man did say he's going workhorses.
I mean,
I
I
said
love
workhorses.
the bias.
my man
I
did
said,
say.
hey, before I
love
said
it,
we're
man.
going workhorses, I'm putting two workhorses in the middle.
Hey.
We're gonna defend like dogs, and we're gonna catch teams on the counter, and then I'll go Messi at my 9.
Leo up top.
So
Yeah,
we're
just
gonna
dogs
defend
behind,
like
pass
dogs.
the ball to Messi, and
Exactly, man. We're going dogs. I think it will work out. Have the two Frenchmen, you know, do the dirty work. So I don't know.
I like it.
I don't know, but yeah.
valid picks, man. Very valid.
That's fun.
Dave, do you this was a pleasure, man. I really appreciate your time, your testimonies through your
Yeah.
trials and tribulation, your highs, your lows.
It's fun, man.
It was fantastic, man. And I appreciate you taking the time and coming out. I know you said you took a break for a minute, but I'm
Yeah.
glad you're here, man.
Nah, dude. It's
Yeah,
good.
we appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
it's
on. I mean, this
fantastic.
is you know, we just started this.
I love
so
it.
this is you know,
What guest number am I?
You're gonna be this is second guest. Second guest. So
number
you'll be the
2.
second pod.
First guest. Do you know a guy named Martin Dominguez? O2 Martin.
Plays at SMU.
Plays at SMU. He's a keeper.
He's the first guy.
He
We
was
had
the
him
first
like a
guy.
couple days ago.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, you'll be the next pod after that, and
Number
then
2.
yeah, like the whole purpose of this is to bring on people like yourself, Martine, other players just in the game who can share insights on your story. So players in similar positions who may have to go through these challenges in
Yeah.
the future, and then obviously in life, like you're going to face these challenges in life beyond the game. So just trying to give players the ease and the insights and just give them more comfort with stuff that I'm sure you wish you had, I had,
Yeah.
and Zach, and just to hear from the game and bring people together and inspire the
Love it.
next generation of ballers.
And even
So,
beyond that, right?
Yeah.
We're bringing in private equity soccer. We're bringing in coaches. We're bringing in
it.
managers. So really, you know, when Lamar and I came up with this idea, you know, to complement the company that we're building, you know, we said it's something that we need, and it's something that kind of the soccer market in itself is missing. Is just talking with people, hearing their stories to now inspire the next generations of, okay, awesome if you're going to be a player, but
Yeah.
you might be a coach. You might
Yeah.
go and be a manager.
Well,
might
you inspired
go
me
and
because you said you played, you stopped playing.
Yeah.
And I'm a month, 2 months done playing. So
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
the stuff when you're like, oh, like I attached your identity to soccer. I had to go through that same stuff, but
Yeah.
my faith and with God, like I went through it a little bit earlier while I was still playing, but it was like
Yeah.
in the spring when I was like, nah, I can't do it. So it's like I pick up pieces every day. I know Zach picks up pieces, and just here I've taken away a lot. And I thank you again. I'm sure the people who see us at home can take away a lot on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you find us. Hit that link below. Download the Train for Change app. And then, Dave, do you have anything else you want to say? Shout out anyone? Like,
Oh man,
moment.
I appreciate you guys, man. I'm on this journey for the long haul. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, I love being able to do things like this. I'm blessed to do it. You guys today, other people tomorrow, and just share the experiences that God's given me. And yeah, man, it's good.
Lovely. Appreciate you guys, man.
sir.
Appreciate you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Love you
You're a
guys.
man, bro. Appreciate you.